so sometimes I find it a little easier to kind of explain my thoughts instead of trying to write a review, and my thoughts are kind of all over the place as they usually are. But I just finished If This Gets Out, and you know me stealing people's thoughts. So, someone says, an absolute showstopper, equal parts edgy and adorable. This bright, joyful book has everything I look for in a queer YA romance. T. Okay, so I've read like a fair share, like a fair amount of books where there are famous people and there's management involved and being controlled and like having people watch you all the time and like paparazzi, is like you can never get privacy. So I thought this book was super sweet. Like I was tearing up towards the end because the band, sorry, like context here. So I'm reading If This Gets Out, and it's basically about this boy band called Saturday with 4 members: Angel, John, Zach, and Ruben. And Zach and Ruben are like the 2 main characters. So basically they're going on this tour. I don't really remember what the tour name was called, but they just finished like the American leg of it, and then they're going on the European the European leg. And basically they start discovering things about themselves and just about the people who are managing them. And Zach and Ruben, like, they're really close, they're best friends. And then Zach starts seeing Ruben in this way that he's never seen him before, like romantic wise. I don't know, it's just all so surreal, and now that I'm explaining it, it feels like it's been like a day since I read this. But Ruben already kind of had a crush on him, and the whole band knows that Ruben's gay, and like, but Ruben hasn't been able to tell the world. So they are a boy band, and like they have all these fans, but they have to pretend to be people that they aren't to kind of show the world, like display them as dream boyfriends and someone you'd want to take home to your mama. Like John is supposed to be this sexy dude. Angel's supposed to be this sweet one you want to take home to your mom. Ruben is supposed to also be sweet. Like Angel's supposed to be the perfect choice. Like Ruben's supposed to be second best, I guess. And Zach is supposed to be like bad boy edgy, but like that's the complete opposite of his personality. So yeah, there's that. And then like one drunken night, things happen, and then they get into this like huge, not fight, but like they misunderstanding, and then they start ignoring each other and just being super cold with each other because of miscommunication. Classic. So of course everything I would look for in a queer romance as well, and just in a romance is like, because I love when they just have this sexy thing going on, and then they have like miscommunication, and it's like so hot. I don't know. I found that really hot. And then they like slam each other against the wall, and it's like passion. And then like once they haven't been with each other, seen each other in 2 weeks, then they slam each other against the wall harder, and there's more passion. But anyway, that's just some context about the book, and I love how this book developed the characters. Like all you need is like a few extra pages to just really develop the characters well, and I could tell them apart. Like they didn't all blend together. I mean, I was reading Kiss and Tell, which is another boy band book, and I can see like similarities between the two of them because they like are both centered around kind of bad management and being controlled and kind of always being in the press and trying to and having to deal with like bad publicity. And like Kiss and Tell, like all the other band members, like it just only focused on Hunter, like the main dude, and his relationship with this other dude in a different band, in the opening band for them. And it was interesting to read about like boy bands like experiences with management. Honestly, it's just so fascinating to me. But the other bandmates just blended together, and I couldn't tell the difference between who, like, any of them. They all had the same personality. It was like there was maybe the quiet one and the loud obnoxious one, and like the comforting one, the one that you can seek out. to be your best friend, but and like will always comfort you in an uncomfortable situation. But like they were just all blending together and basically all the same name. They were so similar names, like Owen, Ian. I can't even remember like the rest of them. Hunter was the only kind of unique one, like semi-unique one. But I'm seeing just how different the books are, and I think that the person who wrote Kiss and Tell needs to take lessons from Sophie Gonzales and Cale Dietrich. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, this book was so much better than that, and all like it's only a few, like maybe like 20 to 40 pages longer than than Kiss and Tell, if not the same length. And all you have to do is just take a little bit more page time and try and develop those characters. Like I really loved how they just worked as a group. They really worked as a band to push against the bad management and really stick up for themselves. Like they were bonded together, and you can really see that. And there was their past story, how they came to be a boy band, and it was just it was magical, and it's just beautiful. I think like they really look out for each other. And this one angel, he's like on drugs throughout the story. He's super high, and then John just has this understanding with Angel, and he really wants Angel to get help. And then like this like world changing thing happens to Angel, and it's like reality comes crashing to these four characters, and they're just like realizing just how bad the people who manage them are, like just how bad they've been treated during their tour. And I think it's they're such assholes. Like John, his father is literally their manager, and John is stuck up to him, yet he's just not a good person. And like that's why it was like making me tear up, because they Zach and Ruben like did this thing, and then the the management team is trying to sue them, and it's like they're getting so much support from their fans, and they're getting so much support from their parents. And even though there's like heavy topics in here like drugs and being basically abused by management team and just being treated poorly and not being able to like basically be yourself and show your true self to your fans, and like kind of having an abusive mom and a controlling mom, like parents. I think that it's sorry, there's like a bug. I think that it's super important to cover somewhat like heavy topics. Ew. Heavy topics in a book. Like this is more than I don't look for things in books, but when I see them, it's just an automatically check off the like these invisible boxes, because it's just amazing. Like I don't know why, but these quote things, oh god, I forgot what they're called. It makes me like, how can you even think of the perfect thing to say? Like you say like praises for the book. How can you just put them into such perfect, beautiful short sentences? I they're written so well. Like I love the first one. And then there's Dazzles, with a narrative of queer boy bandmates who wrestle with newfound fame and newfound feelings for each other. Readers will fall in love. Like, I am in love. Like, I might forget about this book by next week, but for now, it's really sticking with me. So, I mean, that's the problem with books. You just kind of read them too fast and wish you went back and just stayed in the moment. This one's really special, and I mean that so sincerely. Like, I feel like I write so many positive reviews about books, and I just don't mean it, you know? I just don't mean it. I guess I feel positively that there's so many things I liked about a book that they kind of just all blend together, and I can't see the bad things or the flaws in a book. But this book seems flawless, and I wish that I was like doing talk to text or something right now, because everything that I've said in this video I would love to implement in my review. Like, I may not be the smartest or the brightest, but I try to really just write good reviews and try to write something that'll be meaningful. I don't know, this one was, it reminded me a lot of Red, White, and Royal Blue, but also a lot of Kiss and Tell. Like, I can't stop staring at it and looking at tiny things that made me smile. Like, it made me laugh, like, genuinely. And not a lot of books do that. Like, they make me smile, but they don't make me laugh out loud. And I was like, 400 pages. Like, I just need a short book right now because it's taking me, like, all week to read this. And even, like, after they made up, you know, I don't kiss and tell, I was, like, kind of putting off this book a little bit, and I read Who is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I know this is dragging on a little bit, but it's just, like, self-discovery. I don't know even what I'm saying anymore, but I kind of held off on the book, and then I just read it and pushed myself through it, and it was amazing, and I wouldn't do it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I wouldn't change anything about this book except for, well, I guess there has to be problems in a book. It has to be problematic, you know, to have some drama and be juicy and whatever. So I get that people are assholes, but yeah. But yeah, it was just a story about self-discovery, newfound love, newfound fame, and just, honestly, realizing things about yourself that you never knew. So, like, coming of age, but not. Like, it reminds me of all these stories I've seen on YouTube about how, like, they were doing modeling and they were taken advantage of by the people who were photographing them. And it's just, like, it reminds me of the song. Oh, this thing reminds me of this thing that also reminds me of this thing. Like, the Victoria's Secret song, I'm sure it's a rave on TikTok now, but I know Victoria's Secret. He's an old man that lives in Ohio. Or she's an old man that lives in Ohio. Making money off of girls like me. So it makes me, like, think about how people just take advantage of others to get money. Like, I watched this video, and it's a video that I was talking about, like, this girl was doing modeling, and it was, like, her model horror story, and she did a nude photo shoot, and she totally regretted it. Like, she's doing this photo shoot, like, for underwear, and then he, like, was like, oh yeah, is it okay if you, like, take off your shirt or whatever, or bra in this case. And so she did, but, like, he was only taking pictures of her when she was like trying to cover herself so, like, you can see it but, like, not see too much, and he just took pictures of her when she was, like, adjusting herself so you could see stuff, and then he sent them to her stepdad, and it was, like, so awkward because she was, like, thinking about the Victoria's Secret girls and how they, like, did nude photo shoots and they let, like, people see them and they didn't care and they were just, like, supporting feminism or whatever. And so she thought, oh no, this is okay, this isn't a red flag, but it really was a red flag because, like, she realized that she didn't want people seeing that. She didn't want people thinking about that, about, like, her. And the fact that her stepdad literally saw naked photos of her, like, it was just really uncomfortable, and she regretted it because she knew that she was being naive and she wasn't thinking straight, and she wished that she could go back to that moment and just tell herself, no, like, this isn't okay, and I shouldn't be doing this in the first place. Like, this isn't for me, and this just isn't okay. So, yeah, it reminds me of the Victoria's Secret song that is just, like, okay, but also I thought Victoria's Secret was made for, like, this guy's wife, so, and I don't think he's even old, he's probably, like, 40 something. I don't even know when Victoria's Secret was made, but I don't go to Victoria's Secret, I just go to Pink, which is technically the same thing, but, yeah. But you still see people supporting Victoria's Secret, and why? Because they want sexy underwear, so where else are they gonna go to a lingerie store? Like, maybe, yeah. But anyway, that's not the point. It's just, like, how people can take advantage of you and you don't even realize it until, like, someone else just is like, I'm not taking this BS. Like, I'm sure I've been taken advantage of before, but I'm kind of a people pleaser like Zach. Like, I want to keep the peace. I don't want to, like, fight against stuff. So that's why, even though I support feminism, and I'm like, yes, feminism, and I feel so strongly about feminism, I don't think I'd ever go out and start a riot over it, and start a protest about it. But, like, I keep the thoughts on the internet. It's kind of like I'm a quiet supporter. So that's kind of what, like, Zach just grew so much as, like, a quiet supporter and just not realizing that he's being taken advantage of, and then Ruben just shone this light on him, like shining flashlight in someone's eyes, and it's like, oh, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. It's like it brought light to the, like, problem at hand. And I think I should really stop talking about this book, but I can go on forever and just talk about this. I really have to use the bathroom too, so that's what stinks. No pun intended. Anyway, I really have to wrap this up, but I just want to really recommend this book to everyone. This is genuine. This is a genuine book, and honestly, you see people out there not writing their own songs and just they're manufacturedly written. But then this book, it's like that genuine song that's actually written by the artist, except they don't write their own songs. In Kiss and Tell, they did write their own songs, but it's like you're just being controlled. You're a not self-made boy band, basically a man-made boy band, and just they were crafted by someone else, and it's not them. So basically, John's dad could make anyone a boy band. Really, it's scary. Like, I think about my favorite boy bands, and just maybe that's why they split up. Like, I was going to go see Why Don't We in New York City, and they had to cancel their tour because of management issues, and I was like, dude, you didn't even say sorry. Like, we love you and we support you, but you didn't even apologize for canceling your tour that several people were excited for. Like, millions of people were excited to go on your tour, and you just canceled it. But then my mom read an article about why they canceled it, and, like, all this bad stuff that their manager did to them, and I made the connection to this book, and it's like, there's so many people out there that will just use you for fame, use you to get money, and it's just so despicable. So just watch out for that if you're in the music industry. Like, it's amazing if you have a great manager, but sometimes you just have to cut things off. Like, in Geekarella, Darian Freeman is, like, this famous actor, and his dad is also his manager, and he like literally fired his assistant. But Darian was like, no, dude, my assistant is more amazing than you, and then made his assistant his manager because his dad was controlling him. So, yes. Oh yeah, work it, literally work it, guys. There's this message that Zach got. It was like, work it, or something. Work it, man. I was like, yes! Stick up for what you want. So, yeah. Please read this book. I recommend it with all my heart. And I need to use the bathroom, and I will write a review, and you'll probably be seeing a review soon on Insta. So I'm gonna stop talking, but you know where to find me, aka just reading in my bed. But that's a little weird. So yeah, so if this gets out, read it now.